What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's reaction video is Canada and the United States compared.
Should be interesting.
Definitely. I mean, I have done this video a long time ago, and it is definitely an interesting one. But it's something which we haven't really done much Canadian stuff.
No, we haven't, no.
So it'd be interesting to branch out into that a little bit.
See.
Especially for you, because I have done this video before. But again, it was probably a year ago now, so I can't remember it fully. And it's always nice. You know what they say about revision, don't you? You got to listen to it a few times for it to fully stick. Yeah. So that'll be interesting, and I may think of new things as well, and we can have a conversation about it. Smash the like button. Yeah, it does. Smash the like button, guys, if you enjoy the video. Smash that subscribe button as well. Just say subscribe and like it first.
Also merch. Merch.
Oh, we haven't had merch out in a while,
we haven't, no.
Check merch out. Link in description. We'd seriously appreciate that. And send us a picture. We've got a picture from David, and that's about it.
David,
we know you guys are bought them.
Yeah, like...
So send us a picture of you wearing them.
Yeah, where are they?
Yeah, because we know quite a few people bought them. So
and once I've got 10, I'm going to put it on Instagram, so...
Yeah, because we only have David at the moment, but there's definitely been a lot more than 10 who have bought them. So where's your picture? Send it to us on Instagram. Smash the like button, guys. Smash the subscribe button. And let's check out Canada, and the United States compared. What we got.
This video is sponsored in part by CuriosityStream. Canada and the United States of America, the two biggest countries in North America.
We coexist together because we're all Canadian. We're part of Canada and we're bonding together against the common enemy, the United States. What a horrible country. I live there now. They're the most un-Canadian people you will ever meet in your life.
Nah, actually...
I tell you what does amaze me, though. I know we've already paused, but the size of Canada.
Yeah, you don't think it's that big, really, do you? Like,
yeah, it's actually bigger than the US.
Is it?
It's bigger than the US, but the US has 340-odd million people. Canada only has about 40 million. Yeah. Something like that. It's along them lines. But it is just literally, this is uninhabitable up here.
Right, so it's like, yeah, that's what I was going to say, is that top part doesn't really look like people live there.
No, it's all, pretty much most of it's uninhabitable, but still, it's huge, size of it, which I never knew.
No, I didn't know that.
Have a lot in common. Whoa, are we really going to do this? Okay, let's do this. Both have very close cultural and economic ties. So actually, both are two of the biggest countries in the world. Canada is slightly bigger than the United States. Both share the world's longest border between two countries. The border stretches 5,525 miles, or, 8,891 kilometers. Yeah, while Canada has officially adopted the metric system as a whole, the United States is only one of 3 countries in the entire world that hasn't. That said, plenty of Canadians don't always use the metric system to measure stuff, and plenty of Americans do often use the metric system. Anyway, let's stick with more similarities first, okay? Both are two of the wealthiest, most developed countries in the world. Immigrants have flocked to both countries for economic opportunity for centuries, which is why major cities in both are some of the most ethnically diverse in the world. Both have mixed economies and have a progressive tax system on income. However, Canadians definitely pay higher taxes overall. Oh, lots of trading be going on between the two. The United
States. So that settles it. If we move to one, we're going to the United States. Screw that tax.
Yeah.
I'm only joking, by the way. I am only joking.
The States is Canada's largest trading partner, and Canada is consistently a top 3 trading partner for the United States.
Makes sense,
both are in NATO and have historically fought as allies in wars. Both have lots of natural resources. Yep. Both have a wide variety of climates and rainfall patterns. Both are democratic. Specifically, the United States is a democratic republic. Both are democratic.
Oh, what are you thinking outside?
I thought that was Big Ben.
I thought you were going to go like the Houses of Parliament as well, but I get what you mean. I guess.
I was like, hang on a minute.
I kind of get what you mean.
Country.
Specifically, the United States is a democratic republic, and Canada is a parliamentary democracy and constitutional monarchy. Both are growing at the same rate. Ooh. Residents of both generally like their space. Indeed, everything is more spread out in both countries. Both have mostly the same holidays. Yeah, they both celebrate Thanksgiving, but of course not on the same day. Americans celebrate it on the 4th Thursday of November, September, Canadians celebrate it on the second Monday of October. This is partially because Americans associate the holiday more with the Pilgrims coming over, while Canadians associate it more with the Harvest Festival in general. Hey,
I like
you know
the
what?
whole idea of Thanksgiving, though. I like the whole...
Which side? The Pilgrims or the Harvest? I didn't know either,
I don't really know too much about either of those two sides, but I like the whole... You get together with family, you know, it's a day to be thankful. I like the whole idea of it, yeah.
You're coming together, being thankful for everything and stuff like that.
I don't really know much about the
actual history,
sides, but I like the whole idea of it.
No, I rate that as well. I agree with you. It's just a nice day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's get into some history. And for the next part of this video, my friend Mr. Betts from the channel Drawn of History told me that he just turned me into a cartoon if I jumped into the computer. Let's try this out, shall we? Okay, then, cool. Let's do this. Well, the earliest humans in what would later become both countries had settled nearly all of North America by 12,000 years ago. The Norse came to North America, maybe as far south as modern-day United States, but certainly modern-day Canada, around 1,000 years ago. Throughout the 1500s, European explorers came searching for riches and to take over and convert indigenous peoples to their religion. The big three countries to explore, conquest, convert, and colonize were Spain, England, and France. The Dutch and Swedes also had small claims as well, and the Russians out west later on. Ultimately, future Canada and a big...
That kind of makes more sense now, we know, after yesterday's video. Mm-hmm. Russia and Alaska being so close.
Yeah.
How Russia just went over there, which I'd have probably never made that connection until then.
The world's round.
Chunk of the future United States would be fought over by the British and French, while the Spanish held on to claims for another big chunk of the future United States up into future Canada. By the early 1700s, around a few thousand Spanish, 16,000 French, and 300,000 English settlers lived in modern-day United States and Canada. That alone should tell you the direction the future would go. But first, a few wars between France and Britain. The biggest one, the 7 Years' War, well, specifically the French and Indian War, led to Britain taking over all previously held French territory in mainland North America. Britain was feeling pretty good about themselves until 13 of its colonies decided to all up and declare independence a few years after this. Today, Americans celebrate July 4th, 1776, as their country's birthday, as that was the day the Second Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence. After the American War of Independence, Britain lost most of its North American colonies, but it did hold on to future Canada. Many of the Loyalists during that war, or folks who wanted to stay loyal to Britain, ended up fleeing the United States to future Canada. The United States...
Which I guess kind of, if you link back to the start where it was talking about the US being like Democratic, Republican and all that, and then, again, I don't know too much about it, but I guess just tying it in, and then Canada being a parliamentary then with a monarchy as well, it is just because they had the English ties, because they're obviously parliamentary and stuff like that as well, for much longer, and the US just went onto their own route.
Yeah.
I guess that is
Isn't Canada part of... I may be thinking wrong. Isn't it part of the Commonwealth? So
maybe.
It's all reigned under the... Not reigned under the Queen, but the
Queen... I think
it
used to be.
So not anymore?
Not anymore. I know. No. The thing is...
I feel like at one point in my life it was part of the Commonwealth, because I remember learning about it at school.
It might still be. We're definitely going to get roasted in the comments, because I think I got roasted and I can't remember it fully off the top of my head, because I honestly don't know much about Canada. No, I don't know about you, but... And it's weird because we know loads about US, mainly from doing these reactions, but just the intrigue. Yeah. Canada has so many more British ties recent compared to the US, if that makes sense. We should, in theory, know a lot more about Canada.
But we just didn't really get taught it.
Yeah, I never really got taught it, to be honest.
I know, I definitely believe they were part of the Commonwealth.
I think they might still be.
They might still be, but...
Shall we search it?
I definitely feel like... Is Canada part of...
I did.
It's down there.
There we go.
Canada.
Remember? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, still part of it.
So it's like that's like in the British Commonwealth. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm a genius. I did listen at school, see?
Yes, I didn't.
That's the only thing I really paid attention to.
But we just didn't really get taught much, did we, about Canada, at least?
That's the only thing I ever learned about Canada at school.
So there you go. So we do have a lot more ties to it, and we didn't do more reactions. I think there's a history of Canada reaction, which is on our list as well. So let us know if you want to see that in the comments below.
This was truly an experiment. It was the first government that went all in for the Enlightenment ideals of liberalism and republicanism, completely rejecting royalty and the aristocracy, while calling for prioritizing the protection of natural rights. It was the first major group of colonies to successfully revolt against colonial rule and inspire the rest of the world. Meanwhile, in 1791, Britain established Upper Canada and Lower Canada. Lower Canada still had a predominantly French population. Also by that time, there were the colonies of Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. In 1803, the United States bought Louisiana from France, doubling the size of the country. Now let's jump ahead to the War of 1812. Most Canadians today know all about the War of 1812 and love to point out how this was the war when the British forces burnt down the White House. Most Americans barely know anything about the War of 1812, so hey, Americans, why don't you educate yourselves on it, okay? Mr. Betts has just released a video about it over on his new channel, Drawn of History. Go watch it right now and come back, or watch it later or something. I don't know. This is a collaboration, okay? Yes, we plan to release these videos at the same time. It's a conspiracy. Anyway, yes.
Let us know in the comments if you want to check that out. Might be interesting.
So, the future Canadians and Americans battled it out in the War of 1812, but really, it was a draw. One thing for sure, after that war, things have been relatively peaceful between the two countries ever since. Well, there was the Oregon boundary dispute. As both the United Kingdom and the United States looked to continue expanding westward, both had signed the Treaty of 1818 to settle boundary disputes and to jointly settle in Oregon country. However, as more and more American settlers came to Oregon by the 1840s, tensions got a little hot between the two. Fortunately, they resolved it with the Oregon Treaty, splitting up Oregon at the 49th parallel so that the United Kingdom got the northern half and the United States got the southern half.
Sense.
That 49th parallel today makes up much of the border between the United States and Canada. I guess later there was also a dispute between Alaska and the United Kingdom as well, once gold was discovered in the Yukon, but that was settled relatively easily. Back to the 1840s, the United States annexed the Republic of Texas, eventually leading to a war with Mexico, which the United States won and then got the northern half of Mexico due to winning that war. A few years later, it got its modern contiguous borders after the Gadsden Purchase. During the American Civil War, future Canada officially stayed neutral, although tens of thousands of men from future Canada enlisted to help the Union forces. Most from future Canada, after all, were against slavery by this time, and future Canada had long been a final destination for runaway slaves through the Underground Railroad. The British had gotten rid of slavery back in 1834. Anyway, a couple years after the Union was preserved and the 13th Amendment ended slavery in the United States, Canada actually became a country. Well, kind of. Mostly. They were a dominion, still technically part of the British Empire, but self-governing. Today, Canada Day is kind of like the 4th of July or Independence Day in the States. Canadians celebrate it on the anniversary of the Canadian Confederation.
Your birthday!
My birthday, July 1st, which I didn't really ever had a Canada Day.
Nope. I mean, I've heard of Canada Day before, but I never knew when it was.
Yeah, but again, it's so interesting because to see, again, obviously the US is still quite young, but it's jam-packed with history. I'm not saying it's not. But again, you kind of think as Canada, even younger. And you know what I mean? It's like mental to think that, where in an age we've grown up, you just know Canada's Canada. You know what I mean? It is just so young, which I guess is an awesome thing because you can still always improve it, and then you've not made the mistakes of all the other countries. You can learn from it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
I think so.
Federation being established on July 1st, 1867, in which the three colonies of Canada, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick united. So here is how Canada looked at the time. But over the following decades, it expanded dramatically, and the United States tried to expand overseas. After getting Alaska, it aggressively found itself trying to gain a bunch of islands who mostly were not too happy being taken over. kind of like all those Native Americans who had their lands stolen over the previous 2 centuries. Canadians generally did not treat Indigenous peoples much better as they expanded. Both countries discriminated against people of color, and segregation was the norm into the first half of the 1900s. Most reforms in both countries during that time, such as women finally getting the right to vote, followed a similar pattern during that time. Canada and the United States were close allies during both the World Wars. While the United Kingdom put Canada with full standing with it in 1931, most Americans have no idea that Canada didn't truly become a completely independent country until 1982.
That just shows how actual young Canada is. 1982.
We were nearly born.
Yeah, we were like minus 17. Minus 17, man. I'd like...
Our parents were born.
Yeah, when Canada... Which is why I said before, we should really know more about Canada, because it was under British rule until 1982.
Our parents were born and it was still under British rule.
Yeah, but we just don't know. We just don't know,
don't know about it.
So please, let us know any videos for us to learn a bit more.
Yeah.
What?
It's Queen Elizabeth doing that.
Yeah, Lizzie.
All right, Liz. Good old Liz.
It adopted its own constitution. After World War II, both countries went through very prosperous times and continued to follow similar paths with reforms. However, Canada went a bit further with its government programs and has been more left-leaning, and this trend continues to this day. Canada also seems to have gone in a more progressive direction earlier. For example, it legalized same-sex marriage 10 years before the United States. Today, many of the differences between Canada and the United States are linked to the fact that Canada stayed loyal to Britain for many years after the United States became a country, after breaking away from Great Britain. Most Americans love Canada. Less Canadians adore the United States, but still, they get along so freaking well. The United States has more people.
Let us know in the comments if you like Canada or if you like the US, vice versa, whichever you form, what your feelings are, because everyone share the love. You know what I mean? Like, you get me?
Yeah, I get you.
Share the love, guys. Let us know if you don't like them, and fair enough, let us know. But give us a reason why. You must be scarred us for
that. Don't just tell us you don't like it. Yeah. I need backup.
We need backup, because if not, share the love. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Otherwise, you're just a hater for no reason.
Yeah, I like that.
I need a valid reason. Otherwise, you're just a hater.
You're just a hater. We got to share the love. Positivity.
I ain't got time for that.
A lot more people. In fact, it has 9 times as many people and has the 3rd largest population in the world. California has more people than Canada. Remember, Canada is slightly bigger in size and is the 2nd largest country in the world by area, followed only by Russia. However, most of this area has few residents due to it being so very, very cold. 90% of Canadians actually live within 100 miles of the U.S. border. And yeah, let's look at the climate more closely. Canada is perhaps obviously colder, being further north, even if you include comparing it to Alaska. Most of Canada's climate zones are affected by very cold air from the Arctic region. There are exceptions. Along the southwestern coast of Canada, there is mostly an oceanic climate. Much of southern Canada has various types of continental or arid climates. However, the vast majority of Canada is subarctic, and much of it is also tundra. The furthest northern areas of Canada are even permanently under ice. The United States is obviously warmer overall, but basically has every climate zone imaginable. From the rainforests of Hawaii to the tundra of Alaska, from the humid subtropical climate of most of the South and part of the Midwest, to the deserts of the western portions of the country. Heck, you'll even see several different climate types within one state. The wettest parts of the country get as much as 275 inches of precipitation each year. On the other hand, Death Valley, which is often not only the driest but hottest place in the country, barely gets more than 2 inches of precipitation each year. Canada has just as crazy of difference. The driest parts of the country up in Nunavut get just over 3 inches of rain each year, and Henderson Lake on Vancouver Island gets more than 287 inches each year. It gets more rainfall than any other place in North America. There are
I didn't realize there were some places in Canada which were hot or didn't have much rain, like dry.
I didn't know that either.
You just think of Canada, you just think freezing, don't you?
I just think absolute Baltic and snow.
Yeah. So
I don't think rain, I just think snow.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm guessing they count snowfall as rain because it's still water, I guess. So it's still technically the same. Let us know in the comments about that, but I'm kind of guessing snow and rain is the exact same thing on this measurement. But yeah, I didn't expect dry.
I didn't expect that.
Last thing I expected.
50 states in the United States, and also a federal district, 5 self-governing territories, and several other random island possessions. Canada has 10 provinces and 3 territories. The life expectancy is higher in Canada. Related to this, Canada has universal health care. The United States does not. Yeah, politically, the United States is more conservative on most issues. The median age is higher in Canada. Canada has 2 official languages, English and French. The majority of Quebec residents speak French as a first language. The United States has no official language, but the 2 most common languages are English and Spanish. The poverty rate is higher in the United States, although Canadians measure their poverty rate differently, so perhaps that is misleading. The United States also has worse debt as a percentage of GDP. However, the median household income is higher in the United States. Football, or American football, that is the most popular sport in the United States.
What do you think the most popular sport in Canada is?
I know, ice hockey.
Well, no, it's not.
Why?
I always thought it was ice hockey as well. It's lacrosse. This is why I brought it up.
What?
I was so confused as well. But
they always play ice hockey.
I know, that's what I thought. But the national sport for Canada, from what I've been told, please let us know if don't get me wrong, ice hockey, I feel like it's going to say ice hockey, but the national sport is lacrosse.
Yeah, but that's not the most popular.
Yeah, but it's the national one, which you would have never guessed lacrosse was the national one, would you? I would say...
Isn't that hockey but on grass?
I think
it's with a catchy thing on the end of your...
Catchy thing, and we run around and
I know what it is. I've seen it on Wild Child.
I haven't seen much of it. People have told me to react to it, so maybe I should.
People in England,
yeah. What's that film called? The Posh...
Private
School. No, not that one. It's like St. Trinity or something like that. Don't they play it?
No, it's Wild Child. That the posh, the American girl comes over to the posh English school.
No, I'm not thinking that.
And they play it across the grass.
No, I'm thinking
St. Trinians might play it too.
Yeah, I think
that's
what I'm thinking of. That's not posh
school though, St. Trinians.
Is it not?
If anyone's seen St. Trinians...
Thing is, these movies I watch in the background when someone else is, like when you're watching them.
I think you're talking about the posh school is Wild Child.
That's maybe, I don't know.
St. Trinians, if anyone's seen St. Trinians, that's far from a posh school.
I have no clue then. But there's a little fact.
I can't believe you just said that.
Let us know in the comments. I don't know. I just look over every so often and I thought it was that movie. But let us know in the comments to back it up. I'm pretty sure lacrosse is Canada's national sport.
I'm blown away.
By what? Me or that fact?
By you.
Whereas ice hockey is the most popular sport in Canada. Major League Baseball and the National Basketball League both have 29 American teams and 1 Canadian team. Those Canadian teams in both leagues are based in Toronto, which indeed is a city that feels like it actually could be in the United States. The cost of living is generally higher in the United States. At the time of this recording, $1 Canadian was worth about 76 cents, meaning Americans visiting Canada get more of a better deal. Normally there is lots of movement going back and forth between the countries, but less so obviously during the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking of the pandemic, Canada has fared with it better than the United States. Canadians are generally less religious. For those who are religious, more identify as Roman Catholic, whereas in the United States more identify as Evangelical Protestant. A higher percentage of Canadians have college degrees, although the United States is known for having some of the best colleges in the world, and yeah, Canada spends more on education. Despite agriculture being much more of a big deal in the United States, more Americans live in urban areas. Sure, almost 80% of Canadians live in urban areas, but 80% of the entire country is uninhabited. Most of Canada is straight up wilderness, and it has more wilderness than any other country other than Russia. Just about 18% of the United States is wilderness. Major industries in Canada include mining, healthcare, manufacturing, and transportation. Major industries in the United States also include healthcare and manufacturing, but additionally technology and and retail. According to the World Happiness Report, Canadians are happier than Americans.
The World Happiness, that's such a random report. Like,
but how do you even measure that, though? Because you don't go around asking everybody how you're happy or not.
I guess it's like a survey of 1,000 people, and then they just take that as the average. I guess. I don't know.
That's madness.
But if you just run into a load of miserable people, then you're screwed, aren't you?
Yeah.
Canada is known for Tim Hortons. The United States is known for Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks. Well,
we have in Jersey.
We don't have a Dunkin' Donuts thing. In our co-op, which is a shop, we have a section which is probably...
Look, I have a picture.
You got a picture? Well,
I took it yesterday because I said...
I'll put the picture on screen right now.
Yeah.
It's a tiny thing, and there's probably about 12 or 15 donuts on there. And that's max what we've got. But that'll be on screen a minute ago.
And we also have Starbucks too. Not in Jersey. In the UK.
I was going to say, not in Jersey. I wish we had it. We do have it in England, but
we also
not in
have
Jersey.
Ford in Jersey.
We've got Ford in Jersey, yep.
We've got Facebook.
We've got Facebook, we've got Netflix. I don't know what AT&T is.
It's just like a phone tariff.
Is it? Yeah, we don't have that.
Nope.
Dang, while we're at it, the United States is known for so many freaking brands. 3 of the 5 biggest companies in the world, Walmart, Amazon, and Apple, are all based there. Probably the most well-recognized symbol of the United States is the bald eagle. The most well-recognized symbol of Canada, the maple leaf. It's even on the flag. The American flag has 13 stripes that represent the original 13 colonies and 50 stars that represent the 50 states of the Union. The United States has a much bigger military. In fact, it easily has the largest military in the world. No other country even comes close. Marijuana is completely legal in Canada, but in some American states it's still illegal. Canada has less violent crime. The United States has a higher percentage...
That's such a Canada thing to have less violent crime, in it. Just the whole
Canada's starting to remind me of a bit of Jersey.
It kind of is just on a bigger scale.
Comparing Jersey to England, I feel like that's comparing, on the same vibe sort of thing.
Yeah, I think Jersey's more of an extreme because there's only 100,000 people here.
Yeah.
But
with comparison with Canada and the US, kind of like comparing Jersey to England.
Definitely. No, I see what you mean there.
Of its own citizens in prison than any other country in the world. That said, the United States is generally a more free place. One example of this is censorship. Perhaps due to Americans placing a high value on freedom of speech, you just hear and see more provocative and controversial stuff there. How about Canadian content, eh? The Canadian government actually requires that radio and TV broadcasters, including cable and satellite channels, have to broadcast at least a certain percentage of content that was at least partially created or presented by Canadian residents. Ooh. Fortunately for Canada, lots of great music comes out of the country considering how much fewer folks live there. But yeah, American culture is more influential on the world. Throughout history, as the United States dominated mass media, it also spread its culture around the world through music, movies, TV shows, video games, and social media. There are 2 major reasons for this.
I think it's American. That was the Super Bowl.
Oh.
He may be Canadian, I genuinely don't, but that was the Super Bowl in America.
A spirit of innovation throughout American history, and 2, just having a huge domestic market with the majority of Americans speaking English. They have also had access to a worldwide market of more than 2 billion English speakers. The United States is more nationalistic. If you tell a Canadian about the Pledge of Allegiance, many of them would be a bit confused, to say the least. Canada stopped making pennies. The United States still does, for some reason. Canadians generally do know a lot more about the United States than Americans know about Canada. Americans party harder. I have no scientific evidence to back this up, but it's probably true. Okay, let's try to wrap this up. Overall, most of the differences between the two are subtle, like Canadians apparently call these pencil crowns, but Americans call them colored pencils.
Yeah, we go crayons, don't we?
No, we call them pencils.
We do.
Apparently
we just call them pencils.
They're just pencils,
colouring pencils.
And then we've got crayons, which is kind of
it's like a waxy sort of.
Yeah, waxy crayon.
That's a colouring pencil.
Yes, I agree. I got it wrong. Yeah, that is a pencil, but I wouldn't call it a colouring pencil.
Yeah, because what would you call a writing pencil?
I just call these.
We call them.
I call them all pencils.
I say to kids at school, "Can you go and get me either a writing pencil or a colouring pencil?"
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I just
to establish the difference.
But then I don't even speak proper English, so why are you asking me?
Exactly, he doesn't even speak English.
Pencil crowns, but Americans call them colored pencils, and Canadians call these washrooms, and Americans call them bathrooms or restrooms.
Toilets.
But honestly, folks like JJ McCullough argue those differences.
Which part of England have you been in, mate? Because you don't know anything.
Well, yeah, if it's got a bath, I've got a bathroom, but out of them two, I've never called it a washroom.
But if you're in a shop, would you
say
you'd say
definitely. Toilets. But out of the option bathroom and washroom, I've only ever said bathroom. Have you ever said washroom in your life?
No, but I've never said bathroom for a toilet.
No, but like as long as it's got a bath in it, you know what I mean?
I actually say restroom.
I've never heard you say restroom in your life.
Berated. Because both countries are so dang big, and because there are so many regional differences, it's been really difficult making this video since many of these generalizations are misleading. Undoubtedly, the United States remains a superpower in the world, and Canada is often in its shadow. However, both continue to thrive and really do depend on each other. And yeah, they really are two of my favorite countries. I mean, no surprise, right?
That was good.
Is that the end of it?
I think that's an ad, is it?
Full disclosure, I am an American, in case you hadn't figured it out by now.
Yeah.
But I've been to Canada multiple times, and I really love it up there. I did also have a Canadian friend who really loves the United States read over the script. That'd be the amazing JJ McCullough. Thank you, JJ, for reading over the script. Also, in the summer of 2019, I totally predicted I would make this video eventually, man. And so I asked one of my other Canadian friends, Tristan from Step Back History, to give me his thoughts about the similarities and differences between Canada and the United States.
Canada has a lot of this patriotic feeling inside because in many ways the example of the United States is really the way that Canada has developed its own identity. So we develop these kind of ideas of how can we be not American, and so we try to find our own ways to do interesting things while being, let's be honest, more or less exactly the same in a lot of cases, but
yeah. The majority of my regular viewers are from one of these two countries, and so I know you have lots more to add in the comments, so comment away. Also, don't forget to check out my friend Mr. Betts' video about the War of 1812 over on his new channel, Drawn of History. Yeah, it's a new channel, but it's already one of the best history channels on YouTube, period. Check it out and subscribe, I'm telling you. And finally, here's my monthly shout out to all.
Well, we'll leave a link to this video in the description, as always, on original video. So if you want to check out both channels, you can find this video through that link, and then you can follow it on from there. Hope you've enjoyed that. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was good, yeah.
Definitely. I think it's a lot of information just thrown at you. So it's like short little things where it's kind of, you don't really need to know some of them, but it's nice knowing them, if that makes sense. Let us know your opinions in the comments on that. Was it biased? Because again, we can't say if it's biased or not if you've not lived there.
Yeah.
Let us know, like, if you want to check out more Canada, because as you can tell, we don't know much. Smash the like button, guys, if you've enjoyed it. Smash the subscribe button, and make sure you have a fantastic day. Peace.